Chehra dekh Sabhi hojate hain DEEWANE, a story. The evening sun was sinking low, painting the horizon with shades of orange and soft pink. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, people often ended their day with small routines, closing their shop shutters, walking home with grocery bags, or sitting on porches to watch the sky change colors. It was the kind of place where life moved gently, where everyone knew each other's names, and where silence felt like a companion instead of emptiness. But in that silence, there was always one face people spoke about. A face so striking, so strangely unforgettable, that it had become part of the town's whispered stories. Her name was Lena. A calm beginning. Lena lived in a small house at the edge of the town, near the river. She was not from Willowbrook originally. Some said she had come from the city, others believed she had no family left, and a few insisted she was running away from something. No one really knew the truth. What everyone did know, however, was that Lena had a face no one could ignore. People described it differently. Some said her eyes carried the depth of oceans, others felt her smile could light a dark room, and a few claimed her presence made the heart race without reason. At first, the townsfolk admired her silently, stealing glances at the market or at the church gatherings. But slowly, admiration turned into something else. Wherever Lena went, attention followed. Men stumbled over their words. Women compared themselves and grew restless. Even children seemed drawn to her as if she were a character from a fairy tale. It wasn't her fault, and Lena never seemed to notice the effect she had. She lived simply, wearing plain dresses, buying bread and milk like anyone else, walking home with quiet steps. But Willowbrook was changing around her. The relatable problem. Among the people of the town was Daniel, a teacher at the local school. He was kind, patient, and respected by his students. Daniel had always lived a peaceful life, focused on books and the joy of helping children learn. Yet, even he found himself unsettled whenever Lena passed by. It was not just attraction, it was a strange pull, something that disturbed his calm routine. He tried to ignore it, but one evening at the town square, when Lena's eyes accidentally met his, he felt something shift inside him. For nights after, he could not sleep. And Daniel was not alone. Shopkeepers offered Lena things for free. Farmers carried her baskets without being asked. Young men argued over who would get to walk her home. Even the mayor invited her to community dinners with unusual frequency. Slowly, the town began to lose its balance. Arguments broke out. Friendships turned into rivalries. And at the center of it all was Lena's unintentional charm. Lena noticed the change. She began to feel guilty, though she had done nothing wrong. Her walks grew shorter. She avoided gatherings. Her once bright smile dimmed, replaced by hesitation. She wanted to be seen as an ordinary person, not a figure of obsession. But the harder she tried to step back, the more people seemed to run after her shadow. A gentle twist. One rainy night, Lena sat by her window, listening to the soft tapping of raindrops. Her heart was heavy. She whispered to herself, "Why does my face bring unrest? Why can't they see past it?" Just then, there was a knock at her door. When she opened it, Daniel stood there, soaked from the rain. His expression was calm, but his eyes carried determination. "Lena," he said softly, "I need to speak with you." She let him in, offered him a towel, and waited. For a moment, there was only silence, broken by the storm outside. Then Daniel spoke again. "Everyone here, they see your face and lose themselves. I don't want to lie, I felt it too. But I also see something else. I see the sadness you hide. And I don't think anyone has tried to understand you beyond what they see." Lena's eyes filled with tears, though she tried to blink them away. No one had spoken to her like that before. She whispered, "I never wanted this. I only wanted a quiet life. My face, it's like a gift that feels like a curse." Daniel nodded slowly. "Maybe it's neither. Maybe it's just a part of you. What matters is what you carry inside. If you let me, I want to know that part, the real Lena." His words settled in her heart like a warm flame in the cold. For the first time, someone had looked past the surface. Building atmosphere. The days that followed moved differently. Daniel kept his word. He spoke to Lena not about her beauty, but about books, about the children at school, about dreams and fears. He listened when she shared fragments of her past. How she had left the city after losing her parents, how she had longed for a place where she could be ordinary. Their friendship grew quietly, away from the noise of the town. They walked by the river at dusk, watching the water reflect the stars. They shared bread and laughter, discovering comfort in simple things. And slowly, something began to change in Willowbrook. People noticed Daniel's calm presence beside Lena. They saw that she was not untouchable, not a mysterious figure meant for worship. She was human, with struggles and longings like anyone else. The spell of obsession began to fade. Shopkeepers stopped their unnecessary offerings. Young men stopped their arguments. The town, once restless, started to breathe again. The emotional climax. One evening, during the annual town gathering, Lena stood before the community. Her voice was gentle but steady as she spoke. I know that my face has drawn much attention. I never asked for it, and I never wished for anyone to feel uneasy because of me. I only wish to live among you as a friend, as a neighbor, as someone who belongs here, not because of how I look, but because of who I am. There was silence after her words, a silence heavy with realization. People exchanged glances, ashamed of their past behavior. The mayor cleared his throat and said, Lena, you do belong here. Forgive us for forgetting that beauty is not everything. The gathering ended with warmth instead of tension. For the first time since her arrival, Lena felt truly accepted. A satisfying, grounded ending. Weeks turned into months, and Lena's life grew gentler. The town returned to its peaceful rhythm. She began helping at the school, reading stories to the children. Her laughter was no longer hesitant. It flowed freely, like water from a spring. Daniel, too, found his heart at peace. His admiration for Lena was no longer restless, it was steady, grounded in understanding and respect. Their bond deepened, not rushed by obsession, but nurtured by trust. One quiet evening, as they stood by the river watching the reflection of the moon, Lena turned to Daniel and whispered, for the first time, I feel like I'm not just a face. I feel like myself. Daniel smiled, his voice low and certain. That's the only Lena I ever wanted to see. And with that, the night carried their words across the water, soft and eternal, as if the town itself was finally at rest. Word count. Approximately 1,280.